Boom, a boom, boom. He's Chef Track on the fast track. He's Chef Track on the fast track. He's shaking and baking and mixing and fixing nutritious meal, nutritious meal. He's Chef Track on the fast track. He's Chef Track on the fast track.
Fun, food, family. Fun, food, family. Fun and food with your family. Prepared with love for you to eat. Food for health and food for fun. There's something here for everyone.
This is the Chef Track Adventure series. Mia Bird.
Thank you, sir.
Mia Bird.
Thank you, sir. And as he's pointing to cue me, the man who makes it all possible through Chef Delmer Gill. Now, Del.
Hi, everybody. How are you doing?
How are you?
Good. I hope you enjoy yourself.
Yes. We're glad to have Officer Bernard here to keep Del in check.
Okay, we have eggplant, we have some sprouts, we have onion, baby bell,
Baby Bella mushrooms, as in portobello.
as in portobello, celery, and squash. Mia, these are wonderful things.
You are so excited about those.
Interesting macro greens.
All right. What kind?
They're herbs primarily.
Some arugula?
Some arugula, some different herbs, some chives, just some fun stuff.
Okay.
And they're just so cutesy. And we have a little yellow cabbage here.
Yellow? Yellow, the opposite, like reddish yellow? Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
reddish
yellow
yellow.
in there, though.
It
There
is,
is yellow.
Peppers, cucumbers, carrots, lemons. What's this potato doing here? And what's this doing here? Matches
That's
the
right.
potato.
That's right.
Now, some of this stuff is in some of the things we've prepared. Some of this stuff we may decide at the last minute to just whip up and do.
That's right.
Spring mixed veg.
Did you say spring mix?
Spring mix.
Oh, okay.
Right in time for the season. Spring mix. Actually, spring mix is baby baby lettuce leaves. Spinach. We have some nice fresh basil. Woohoo.
Right. We have such a wonderful lineup for you guys today,
Yes.
because we're talking about spring and things are growing again, and you know, Chef laid out this wonderful bounty because green is coming back soon, color is coming back soon.
Yes.
So we tried to incorporate what's happening and what's about to happen for us in this area, in this region, into the food we have. So, you know, Chef and I just collaborated. So, Chef, you decided to be mindful because certain times of the year people do fast.
Yes.
So, and then there's a lot of vegetables and there's a lot of
Yes.
focus on vegetables.
Yes.
So the menu that we have in mind today is focused on primarily vegetables, but there's a little bit of meat.
There's a little
but
bit.
it's to celebrate all the bounty of spring.
Yes,
So.
yes. Bounty, bounty, bounty.
All right, so you want to start with
What are these
talking?
you said meat. What are these wonderful little meatball-y businesses here, Mia?
Well, the dish that we're going to show you that we made today, it's just something Chef and I had just kind of talked about. It's ground chicken, and we actually just took some pasta, rigatoni, no big deal. But we're going to do pesto. We made some pesto. It's green, makes you think of spring. So, and the whole thing of spring and green, the green comes from the chlorophyll that's in all of the plants that are growing. So green is the theme, so you're going to see that a lot.
This is actually brown rice, wild rice, and some wonderful soup beans. What's this, about 15 different beans in here?
Maybe 16.
I'm not counting them, but
Right.
a multitude of beans.
Right.
There's carrots, peppers, onions in here. It's vegetarian. There's a vegetable stock. Now, what was this seasoning from over homeland that you put in there?
Well, I mean, we just one of the things when you're a home chef, you'll come to find out what your flavors are that you love for you and your family, and you know, we are a people who's descended from those who were brought over from Africa and beyond, all around the world. And just to inject that influence, this was made, like Chef said, with brown rice, some wild rice. We used a wonderful medley of beans. We used some the mushrooms that he mentioned. We put the baby bellas in there. But to season it, we used some African seasonings, some jumbo and a little, just a few different seasonings to help give it a little bit more punch. So, you know, and this is it's gonna taste really earthy. The rice, the grains, you know, you have the mushrooms and the beans. Beans are seeds, that's all they are. So that's the whole point of why we chose it for the spring show.
Absolutely.
To remind that everything's gonna start growing, but it starts with a seed. And what's really cool about seeds, just why plant foods are so good for you, because plants are the only thing that are born. They're created having all the food that they need inside of them. We have to get our food. We have to eat. Plants don't have to eat. So when we eat plant food, we're really eating something that's good for our bodies because it's, you know, it's all the good stuff they need.
And easily digestible.
Very easily
in
digestible.
most cases.
All right.
Now, next to our beans, we have chicken salad, but it's mock chicken salad. There's no chicken in it. It's made with tofu. So
you're saying the tofu's making a mockery of the chicken?
No, I'm making a mockery of the chicken.
Oh, okay, then that's all right. So,
now what's in there is seedless green grapes, onion, celery, carrots, and what I did was, when I broke up the tofu, I let it marinate overnight with sage, a bit of poultry seasoning, and a standard, you know, chicken seasoning, salt, pepper, and garlic. Then it was combined, checked, and rechecked.
All right. So what made you use the poultry and the sage and the other chicken seasonings? What made you use that?
With tofu, you're going to give it a flavor because it has no flavor basically of its own. So whatever you're making, you want to infuse some type of flavor. So sage is oftentimes used with chicken, poultry. And like I said, I used a poultry seasoning, sage, and in a standard chicken seasoning, salt, pepper, and garlic.
Awesome.
But it works out very well. Now, this recipe now is on our website, and that's www.cheftrek.net. When you click on Enon Fast, you'll find this recipe and other things.
Okay.
Polenta basically is just cornmeal. I have something called quick polenta. It took combining water and salt. And you can add whatever seasonings you like. You might like garlic. You might like, you know, you might even like sugar. Whatever you might want to try, or different herbs, you can put polenta, but I decided to use the nutmeg. Last night, I cooked this polenta. I poured it in a shallow half sheet pan or cookie pan. I let it smooth out and I let it refrigerate overnight. So
it's set up, right?
It's set up
by itself.
By itself. You know, once it cools, it sets up.
Right.
So Mia, when we got here, she proceeded to cut it into various shapes. When you hear sizzle, you know you're doing good.
That's right.
We're cooking on induction burners. And the burners we have are New Wave. These are New Wave cookery. And they come, and New Wave cookery, and also waterless induction cookware. And that comes from our national sponsor, Health Craft Products of Tampa, Florida.
Excellent.
So once again, we have to give a shout out to Chef Charles Knight from Health Craft in Tampa for supporting the Chef Trek Adventures for oh so long of a time.
Chef was just showing what happened, what he did with the polenta. And if you don't have a griddle at home, you can just turn a regular skillet, turn it up, you know, really hot, and it'll get a, you know, a brown on it. I'm just going to start with finishing off the chicken meatballs with the rigatoni and the pesto. Basically, what I did is blended. So you can make a pesto out of anything.
You name it, you can make it.
You really can. You're not locked into anything. But I did a semi-traditional pesto. We did the pine nuts. That's a traditional ingredient. And what it is, we were saying how you can make pesto any way you like. It's really whatever you want. So we were talking about some of the traditional ingredients of pesto. Chef was reminding us that pine nuts is what I started off with because it's a high allergen. You know, if you're impartial to nuts, you're allergic to nuts, don't use nuts.
Exactly.
But, you know, basil's a traditional ingredient.
Yes, it is.
Tons of garlic is a traditional ingredient. Some people put Parmesan cheese in their pesto. It's up to you. But this is just really, really, it's actually fresh basil, spinach, fresh garlic, a little olive oil, pine nuts. So there are nuts in here. And that's pretty much it.
Salt and pepper.
Actually, no. We're going to
Good.
season that.
Good, because you'll be doing some seasoning to the final product, correct?
Yep.
Understandable. This knife is used for cooking, officer, okay?
I'm glad it is.
All right, because I had it in my hand. I saw you looking at me.
Yeah, well, I had an eye on you.
Thank you. Such a blessing to have you here.
Well, you're quite welcome.
Now, what are we combining with our pesto?
Well, the way we made that's the rigatoni, but we made some chicken meatballs.
Meatballs.
So we made those, it was pretty simple because you can take ground turkey if you want, but we use ground chicken. What we did is almost like our cameraman was talking about this, we were having a conversation about it because when you use water as your cooking method, whether it's boiling or poaching, the water boils out some of the flavor sometimes, and it can get a little bland. But it was more out of necessity that I did it that way. But because the pesto, which isn't doing anything in this pan yet, as you're going to check that out for me, Chef, thank you.
Let's switch up. Keep an eye on my polenta, lady. Keep an eye on my polenta.
But the chicken meatballs are made with a little bit of marjoram, a little bit of oregano, salt and pepper, and garlic, and that's it. You can put a whole lot of other things in it, but because the pesto is so flavorful, I mean, you know, you're going to have tons of flavor in it anyway. But what we're going to do is heat up the pesto, heat up the chicken meatballs with the pesto, get them flavored, and then toss everything with the rigatoni, get it all nice and hot, and then serve it, and we're ready to go.
Thank you, thank you.
But ratatouille is another thing. One of the things that Chef always talks about is just the importance of making it your own. You're not locked into anything. So
absolutely.
You know, a lot of countries have peasant dishes, and ratatouille is basically a peasant dish full of vegetables. You know, meat is sometimes very scarce in certain countries, and traditionally people didn't eat as much meat as we do now. So
not that we need to eat a lot of meat, we won't go there.
That's right, and that's actually why we use less meat in the meatballs. We didn't make them these huge monstrous meatballs that people love, and that's fine, but it's just giving you a little, getting your protein in, but also getting you some vegetables and some pasta. But the ratatouille, we just used a medley of a lot of these vegetables over here. We used plum tomatoes. Those are the funny shaped ones. They're not the round little beefsteak ones. We use some eggplant. With your eggplant, when you're cooking eggplant, it's a good idea to salt your eggplant. It's very high in, it's very high water content,
yes,
but it can get really bitter. So you salt it at least for half an hour, let it sit, then rinse it, drain it. You can cook it, make it into parm, eggplant parm. You want to put in a stew, whatever you want to do. But that's the best way you're going to get the best flavor out your eggplant. But then with the ratatouille, we just put some squash, just whatever vegetables we had, some onions. We use a little tomato paste for some sweetness, fresh thyme, garlic, salt and pepper, and that's it. Now you could do the ratatouille is going to go over the polenta. Polenta is not, like Chef said, you can cook it and put a lot of flavor into it, but by itself it's just kind of, you know, it's mellow. The ratatouille has a lot of flavor, so
yes,
it'll bring a lot of flavor to it.
Are we adding any liquid to this?
No. Once it gets hot, we're going to put a little bit more of the pesto in it, and then we're going to put the meatballs
to help
in.
it along, can I add a little liquid?
If it's going to be anything, it'll be chicken stock. So yeah, we can add some chicken stock, not water, because water's gonna water down the flavor. Can you guys smell that the pesto is starting to cook now? I mean, it's full of so much flavor.
Yes, it is.
And you can't ignore how
Gee
flavorful it
willikers.
is.
But
No,
we
I think we're
switched.
good. I think we're good.
All right, marvelous. Am I supposed to do a little salad to go with this?
Sure.
Okay.
We have all those greens over there. Why not?
Yes, yes, yes. Now, I think
All right.
I'll put some cucumber in our salad.
All right. Del happens to be my best friend. We've known each other over 20 years. And, you know,
What a blessing.
yes, what a blessing. And the reason, but because he's my friend, I follow a lot. I listen to what he says. And
May
he
not
makes-
understand it, but
That's
you
all
listen.
right. That's all
Bless
right.
your heart.
But I, you know, and we collaborate, and we may agree, we may not always agree. We're chefs, and we have different palates. But it's just wonderful to have a friend that you can discuss things with, and even disagree on. But sometimes you should be doing some listening too. So
Absolutely.
as you're doing that, chef, because you're making a wonderful salad, I think that salad would accompany the mock chicken salad really nice.
I think it will.
You have some wonderful bread over there. You can put the mock chicken salad over the on the bread. Serve it with a side salad, and it's a very it's protein rich, and it's
Absolutely.
a complete meal. And chef, you noticed that I
Yeah.
wore my my mushroom head wrap because we were
Yes.
serving mushrooms.
Yes. And you were wearing your, is that an urban turban?
It's something like it. I guess it's
Okay.
urban because we're living in Philly.
Okay.
Turban, maybe not quite, but it's a stretch. It can work.
Yes, it is. Now, are those white domestic mushrooms?
On the scarf,
on your
yes,
scarf?
but in that stew, no. It's,
Well, I know it's in the stew. I'm asking what's on the scarf.
But yes, they are. Just so you know,
Marvelous.
at the last minute, and we're all done with this, but I added some, just some fresh spinach. We're not going to saute it all the way. We want the spinach to look like a full leaf. It's going to be hot, but it just displays so much better. We're going to put this on this beautiful green tray. We're talking about green. This is a food safe tray. But
Mia, can I use this bowl for our salad?
of course.
I have to ask your permission.
No, of course.
Officer Bernard, don't start. She said I could use it, okay?
Okay.
All right.
She said okay.
Can't be playing around with the police here.
Yes.
Now, we have spring mix.
All right, so I'm going to just, what
And I
I'm
need
going
a
to
pair of
do,
tongs
because this, like I
which
said,
are
these things are so
right
temperamental.
behind me.
I'm going to add just a little bit more to this, the pesto and the spinach. Chef, what kind of dressing are you going to make with that salad? Because
I think I'm going to whip up a quick, like herb dressing since we have these wonderful herbs here.
Okay.
And we're going
'Cause-
to put some sprouts in.
Ooh. Because we're going to wrap this up soon because
Yes, we are.
we're pretty much done with everything that we're offering, and I'm sure you guys are
Yes,
ready
we are.
to taste it and try it. So,
Now, what's in this salad is spring mix, which are the spring baby leaf lettuces. We have cucumber, we have onion, we have bean sprout. There again, a seed.
a seed.
A seed. Is that like a seed is a star?
I
and a
knew you
star
were going to
is a
say it.
seed?
You can't resist
How
it.
can I not say that?
If you've all never heard of this song by Stevie Wonder, Del actually introduced it to me. And Mobilaji, you might be familiar with the song. A seed is a
star, a seed, a star, a seed, a star.
That's
I need
And-
the bowl. Oh, Mia,
Yes.
here's the bowl.
Yes.
Now, for this dressing, we're going to take a bit of just canola oil or blended oil, but this is canola, not blended. And give or take, that's about a cup, maybe a cup and a half. We're going to add some sea salt. We're going to add some cracked black pepper. And we're estimating A lot of times when you're doing this, and I tell people all the time in the course of our shows, recipe is a guideline. It gives you possible ingredients and usually a direct method. But it's all about what you want to do. Like I just saw a lemon. Hey, we'll add a bit of lemon. Not a lot.
All right, Chef.
Yes.
It looks like
Now, for the fun part. We're going to take some of our, and see, I love these little macro things. They were grown in seed pods, and you can see the bean which they have come from. So you just do a cut, discard the bottom, and we will chop, 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 chop.
And what's the what made you choose the micro lettuces, Chef?
You want the truth?
Always give it to me straight.
I'll give it to you straight. I work at the Federal Reserve Bank, which happens to be right down the street, for a company called Fling International Dining. And this was ordered for a large catering function that we were doing. And I said to my executive chef and sous chef, I said, hey, I got a show Saturday. And they said, just take it, because by Monday, you know, so this is being used up before it goes bad. It would not make it for Monday. So
Okay.
I said, will it still be good on Saturday? And they said, sure, take it.
So recycle, reuse, and
yes. So
it
we have
wouldn't-
added salt, pepper, canola oil, and some of our mixed herbs.
Do you have something to display it in?
Yes, I will. I'm going to do just should I use fresh garlic or garlic powder?
For your, what is that for?
For a dressing.
Yeah, I mean, go for it.
Okay.
Either way.
I'm using garlic powder. Now, I have added a wee bit of, where's our friend? Ooh. A fun whisk that someone just got yesterday.
That's right. It reminds me of my daughter. Her favorite color is chartreuse, and we are blessed to have some young people in the audience today. The more
kids.
that's right. The more we get young people involved in cooking,
Absolutely.
and the more that you guys learn to embrace all the different types of food. You might not like tomatoes, for example, prepared a particular way, but try them a different way. If you don't like them, you might like them on pizza and pizza sauce.
I got ready to say, you took the words out my mouth.
Right, but
you like it on pizza.
That's right, but sometimes people say, I don't like broccoli. Well, have you ever tried broccoli tempura? Have you ever tried broccoli with a sesame ginger garlic sauce on it? There's a lot of different ways to eat food. So the same way us adults need to try things and try something new, you guys too, we all need to try the bounty that grows and see it all, and try it all, because it's all so wonderful. How does it smell to you guys in here? Good. All right, so we're about to eat. So you're going to try something you never tried before, right?
Officer Bernard?
No!
It smells great.
Oh, there you go. You can't disagree with the police. Officer Bernard said it smells great. Now, in this vinaigrette, I have just added a bit of sugar, only because I like to add some sort of sweetener. So it could be a sugar substitute, whichever you use, or honey. And you know me, I'm going to go with apple cider vinegar again.
Okay.
It's just something about, I love our vinegars, but it's just something about apple cider vinegar that just makes me a happy camper.
All right.
And we're gonna, we started with about a half a cup to almost 3/4 of a cup of oil. We did put a squeeze of lemon juice in here, and we're gonna add, give or take, maybe a 1/4 of a cup or more of our apple cider vinegar. And we're gonna just drizzle this in. We'll set this aside. We'll do another toss. And there we go.
Yum. That just looks good for you. All that green.
I'm
Saucing
gonna
the
throw just a
polenta.
few tomatoes over here for a little accent.
Okay.
And V will use these marvelous tomatoes right here. And guess what? We even throw a few mushrooms on top.
And just so you know, ratatouille is one of those things that just tastes better the older it gets. It just does. You can take ratatouille, like we're gonna put it over the polenta. It's good over pasta. You can have it with rice. You can put it on some hard, crusty bread. It's one of those things
Yes,
where
indeedy.
it's just good. You can put it, you can toss some chicken in with it, make your own little, just whatever, but it's just good stuff.
Oh,
That looks awfully pretty.
you're here. Now, see, if you weren't here, I'd say, well, wait a minute.
Well, I'm glad I
but
am
because
here.
you're here, I have to,
Because
with
remember,
no
Chef,
doubts,
this
say,
ratatouille,
okay.
this polenta
And I'm
needs
glad.
help. It needs help. It's a little bland on
It's
its own.
polenta.
Yeah, but we want our people who are going to view the Chef Trek Adventures, whether it's online, and particularly our studio audience, to have the best flavorful adventure as
All right.
possible. And we don't want them to miss anything.
I just made spring mix with peppers, onion, cucumber, sprouts, and tomato and baby bell mushrooms. And we did a quick herb vinaigrette. As Mia is stirring.
Stirring the pot.
Stirring.
I'm stirring the pot.
As Mia is stirring the pot. Here is our brown rice, wild rice. So we have our soup beans, we have mushroom, I said brown rice, wild rice, salt, pepper, garlic, celery, onions, and bell pepper. Ooh.
And some
Did we talk
African
ab-
seasoning.
and we have our mock chicken salad. The protein is actually tofu with grapes, onion, celery, shredded carrots. We've made this completely vegan because we've used a vegan mayonnaise. We have our polenta, and once again, the polenta is a quick cornmeal with just water, salt, and cinnamon, and it was fried. You have to fry it. A lot of people make polenta loose, or you can bake it. Now, there's something in the green platter.
Go for the greens.
Go for the green.
And it's chicken meatballs that we made. And we had some pesto that we put alongside of it. We tossed some fresh spinach in. It's just rigatoni, and it's tasty.
All right. As a matter of fact, my hat's off to the gentleman that's my hairstylist. Tom Denson.
You mean he's the one who does your hair?
So, on behalf of our family, the Chef Trek Adventure series, we say thank you.
Thank you.
We love you.
We love you.
And we'll see you soon.
Boom, a boom, boom. He's Chef Track on the fast track. He's Chef Track on the fast track. He's shaking and baking and mixing and fixing nutritious meal, nutritious meal. He's Chef Track on the fast track. He's Chef Track on the fast track. His food is so good, good. His food is so good, good. His food is so good, good. Chef Track, Chef Track, Chef Track, Chef Track. His food is so good. Chef Track, Chef Track.